when you talk about collaboration or the newness of Africa, Africa being united or collaborating with one another just for the common goal of African countries, or of common goal of African men and women. You see, these two countries, Namibia and Botswana.
So we need to strengthen our alliance. Botswana, Namibia. What does this entail? We must avoid unnecessary competition. Botswana must not seek to outcompete Namibia. Namibia must not seek to outcompete Botswana. There must be objective, plausible complementarity between these two neighbor states.
Things for the common good of their countrymen, just like what we are seeing in the Sahel state between Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. These three Sahel states forming alliance, knowing what they want, that they can achieve more with togetherness. So that's what we are looking at in Africa. The saying that united we stand, divided we fall should remind Africa about the power of unity, that true strength lies in genuine unity. This is the kind of collaboration that we've been expecting that will come up more often in African countries, where nations want to collaborate, putting aside their differences just for common goal of mutual benefits of both sides, both nations. Even there can be multiple nations. Just to give you a brief highlight of these two countries, Botswana and Namibia, or Namibia and Botswana, these two countries share a long border of about 1,600 kilometers. You see, their collaboration is a right one. A fantastic idea. These two beautiful countries, Botswana and Namibia, share common things, like around the Zambezi region, like the Chobe River, the Kalahari Desert. These two countries on both sides, both borders, have done things together, traded together, traveled together, shared common resources. So it is very, very right, or very, very on point for these two governments to come together and work closely or collaborate just for the common good of their communities and their countries. The partnership between Botswana and Namibia is on point, because it will get a lot of benefits for these two countries, like the joint oil refinery that the two countries are planning together. Two countries talked about better transportation systems that will benefit both Botswana and Namibia, seaports that will support them, transportation systems that will link both countries together, Botswana's inland economy to Namibia's seaport. So a railway that will support both countries, like the Trans-Kalahari Highway that will support, transportation of goods and services for both countries and economies. Another key element they talked about is on education and energy, and even on tourism. You see, this collaboration is okay, and it's what we are looking for in African countries, or amongst African countries. That is it. And this is the message, that African countries can actually collaborate, connect, unite, then compete with one another. This is what we are expecting from these African countries that have common bonds with each other. Because when these countries, like what we're seeing in Botswana and Namibia, and also seeing in the Sahel states between Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and more African collaboration, African countries collaboration, you see that these barrier borders or border barriers become bridges. They connect each other together. But is it achievable? Can it be done? Yes, it can be done. If you ask me to cast my vote, I think it's something that can be achieved. When they put their minds to it, when the people on top, or leaders and stakeholders, work together, trade grows, peace and unity create an enabling environment for citizens to thrive. But come to think of it, after all, collaboration is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength and power, because everybody wins. So to end today's own, I think African countries should unite for common goal, for common good use of one another's infrastructure, as far as they meet up to the standards that each of the country has set, reduce border blockades, remove tax to make goods and services reach to any other parts of African countries. It's very much achievable. So here, to the end of it, I share about things I find fascinating about African development. So do not forget to subscribe and drop your comments in the comment section. See you